Good morning everyone and welcome back. It's been a little while since I've uploaded anything. After Thanksgiving I headed out to areas in Utah for a few weeks and then went back to my sister's in southern Utah for Christmas. And then after that I left again for a few weeks and I went to California. I hit up Death Valley and Joshua Tree. Spent some time out there exploring, which was really nice. And then I actually had to go back to my sister's because I was taking care of my niece and nephew while they were out of town for a little while, and then ended up being there for I think 2 weeks. But now I'm back out on the road. While I was there, I did do a deep clean of my car, which already feels like it doesn't even matter. There are so many bugs out here. I'm in Arizona now. I decided I wanted to be warm because I was sick and tired of being so cold. And it is already super warm. Honestly, I think I need to take off my jacket from this morning when I was making coffee and it was still a little chilly, but that sun really warms stuff up fast. So it's pretty hot. I think a bunch of bugs must have just hatched or something. I don't know. It's been pretty bad since I got out here. There is a lake down that way quite a ways, so that might be it, but they're really annoying. So I'm probably going to be in Arizona for a few weeks. I was here last year around this time and it was a lot of fun just kind of exploring. There's a lot of public lands down here and a lot of 4x4 roads. Yesterday I went to this old cabin that was near a mine and I couldn't drive all the way there. Unfortunately, there was kind of like a dam actually that the road just kind of ended at, but there was a bypass route that really only like side-by-sides ATVs could get over, so I did not do that, but I walked over there and it was super cool. I love just looking at maps and finding random things like that and being able to go explore them. Anyway, if I can get past all the bugs attacking me, I wanted to go through my camera gear and kind of my filming setup. I get a few questions, not a ton, but I do live and travel in my car full time, so my setup is pretty minimal. And I do 100% of my filming and shooting alone, so most of them are static shots. I have a few things that I attach to my car that I'll go over, but just a little rundown. I am by no means condoning having all of this stuff. I've been shooting photography since high school, and I'm old, so it's been a while. And I've had a bunch of these cameras for quite a while and have slowly built up my collection. But if you're curious about how I shoot and film and edit, which I'm totally new to, so if you're looking for a like deep dive editing video, this will not be it, but I will go over some of the few things that I've learned that I think are super useful if you're like just starting out, just want to make a couple videos that have nice color. Let's get into it. Okay, starting off with my main camera that I use for pretty much 98% of all of my filming. It's the A7C Mark II, and this is kind of the default setup that it's in. I use this Sony, I think it's like the ECM something. It's like a shotgun mic. It just slips on, doesn't need to be plugged in. It's super nice. I think the audio sounds pretty fine if you're just getting like ambient sound. I do also use it for videos like this and I feel like the sound is pretty okay. Sometimes I will use my lav mic if there's a lot of other ambient sound. And I have a small rig cage on it, the Peak Design capture clip attachment at the bottom, the Peak Design anchor clips. On it I have the Sony 16mm 1.8G lens. This is kind of newer to me. I wanted something that was a little bit wider and was super small, so it's pretty small. On it, I just have a K&F Concept diffusion and ND filter that I use for filming. This is a great little camera. I got it because the A7 IV was a bit too big and heavy, and I was tired of carrying like 5 pounds of camera on my strap when I was backpacking. So I'm showing you this. What am I filming on right now? Let's swap them out. Okay, my secondary camera is the A7 IV, and I bought this when I wanted to upgrade from my A7 III, which I'll talk about in a moment. But this was just significantly bigger and heavier than this, and so I just wasn't happy with it. Just the form factor, and that's why I upgraded to the A7C II. And then I wanted to sell this, but honestly it's been nice to have just like a secondary camera. Sometimes I'll put my zoom lens on this and have a wide angle on that and be able to kind of get different shots a lot easier. It's not necessary though, so I really should sell it, but it's still with me for now. This mic is just kind of like a backup mic. I used to use this. I bought it a million years ago. It's a Rode Video Micro. Now I mainly use the Sony just because this is, again, big, has to plug in, a little less convenient. So that is this camera body. I do use this one for photos a lot. If I'm filming on that camera, and then I'll be shooting photos on this. This lens is the Sigma 24-70. I bought this a long time ago. I used to bring this backpacking with me all the time, but again, it's very heavy. I have the same kind of ND filter on here as well. Oh my god, the bugs. And here is my main little camera filming me now. Okay, real life reality check, because these bugs are insane. I sprayed bug spray here and they all just flock there. They're dead now luckily, but there's still just so many of them, and I'm just trying to relax. So we're trying a new spot. Let's go. Okay. That didn't take very long to get everything just kind of thrown in, but honestly I don't usually have problems with bugs because I always go places where it's generally cool. But I think because the last day or two have been so hot, the bugs have been so bad. Ugh. Ah! That took way longer than it should have because I ended up doing a road that really didn't have any camping and was definitely an off-road trail. But we're good. I made it, and now I found this spot and it's actually pretty nice. It's a bunch of yucca trees and saguaros around, so that's exciting. I love them. Anyway, let's get back to it. There's a bunch of flies. Okay, let's get back into it. It's very hard to film stuff like this when you're out here because there's just so many factors that go into it, like bugs and the fact that it's so sunny out, so the light is super harsh because I spent too much time finding a new spot, but it is so beautiful. So anyway, I want to continue. I'm going to go through this pretty quick, or as quick as I can. Starting with the other lenses I have this Tamron 20-40 2.8. It's super small and light, so it's good for backpacking and hiking and such. It does have a few autofocus issues that I've noticed recently. Could be because I've probably dropped it. I don't know, but still pretty good, affordable little lens. And I usually keep the lenses I'm not using wrapped in these Tenba wraps, and they're kind of just like sticky to themselves. So keeps them a little bit safer. My telephoto lens I have is the Sony 70-200 2.8 GM2. I did used to have the 100-400, which I bought because I was supposed to go to Africa in 2020. But it was just like too big and too heavy to use on like a day-to-day basis, and sometimes the zoom was actually too much. So this has a completely internal zoom. It's super sharp. I do have the Peter McKinnon Maglock ND filter on here. Everything's dirty. Amazing lens. Again, it's like insanely sharp, probably my sharpest lens, but very, very expensive. Most of my other stuff I keep in this fruit bag from Bagu, and it absolutely does not all fit. But starting with my batteries, I have 6 Sony batteries, 1 in each of my cameras, and then I always have these in here, and this charges them and holds them. It's a Jubio tri-charge thing. Super nice, super convenient. It charges on USB-C and keeps all my batteries pretty much charged all the time, because you do go through batteries pretty fast when you're filming. This I've used a few times. It's the Fat Gecko suction cup mount. They do make a 3 suction cup one too, but again, I live in my car. I need things that are small. But it's allowed me to get some pretty cool shots of my car and stuff while driving, and I like it. So with that, I will also sometimes use this longer magic arm. This is a small rig one, and it has a clamp on one end and then a screw on the other one. You can see I have my really old GoPro on here too, which I barely use. But this I will sometimes attach to my roof rack and then attach it to an anchor point on my camera cage when I'm using the suction cup mount to give it an extra attachment point, just for security's sake. But I have obviously also used it with my GoPro on my car, so just very versatile, nice to have. I do also have this smaller magic arm, which I don't actually use all that often. I think it's just not quite strong enough to like hold my camera, and I just don't have many accessories to like mount onto my camera. What else do we got in here? My camera straps, I have these 2 from Little Howler. They're like old climbing rope, and they come with the Peak Design anchor point clips on them. So I have those on all my cameras, so I can just like clip on and off. Super nice. Getting windy. I also have this small rig video camera head, tripod head. I don't use this all that often, but it is really nice, especially with the big lens, to help like support it a lot better. The ball head on my tripod, which I'll mention after this, just isn't the most strong. So again, I don't use it all that often, but nice to have. My tripod I am using, obviously, is the Peak Design carbon fiber tripod. I got this in their Kickstarter campaign in like 2018, 2019. I don't know, whenever they released it. So I got it for a deal. It is super beat up. I did have something break on it a few years ago, and they just sent me a replacement part for it to fix it, so that was super nice. I haven't had any issues with it. It's really nice to bring backpacking because it's super lightweight and it does everything I need it to. And again, it's super small and compact. In addition to that tripod, I have this smaller handheld PGY Tech Mantis Pod, and I'll use this for some vlogging or to set it up on like a tabletop surface and stuff. So it's just a smaller tripod. Okay. A small iPhone phone camera mount. It just has a hot shoe adapter on it, so I can just put this up on my camera cage or in the hot shoe mount and put my phone up there. I do use this sometimes if I just want to like also film on my phone, or if I want to use my phone as a monitor through the like Sony app. Another fun little thing is this teeny tiny little flash. It's the Godox IM20. It just has a little diffuser case for it, and it's just a manual flash. It's super cheap, but what I like to do is use it on my old camera that has the pocket dispo or this light lake lens on it. So it's just really fun to kind of play along with the flash. It would work perfectly fine for like normal photos and stuff too, but again, it is manual, so you just have to change the settings and it will just go off, but it might just overexpose your images. Okay, that's most of my stuff. Really, I just use like the same lens and camera most of the time. But the last thing is my drone. I've had about 3 or 4 different DJI drones. I've had this one for a few years now. It's the Mavic Air 2S, so it's pretty small and compact. I keep it just in its little case with the remote, and I do have ND filters for it. It's super fun to have, and especially for like self-filming and driving videos and stuff, it's really easy. They do the tracking so you can drive and it will just track you. So yeah, drone. I nearly forgot that I do sometimes still shoot films. So in 2024, I shot almost exclusively in film, and then I don't know, 2025 I got more into video. But I do still sometimes shoot with these, and so these are the 2 that I bring along with me. I used to bring like 5 film cameras with me, so it was excessive, but these are my favorites, and they're both actually Contax cameras. So this is the G1, and then the other one I bring is this Contax T2. I love this camera. It's small, has a flash. I tripped and fell and dented it in Mexico, and it still works. I got this little leather case for it on Etsy. It's just very satisfying, super cute. I love it. I also forgot, because it was in my bag, my mic, wireless mic. I have the DJI Mic Mini. I've charged this thing like once and it's been lasting forever, so the battery is insane on this little charging case. But since it's actually getting a little bit windy and we're gonna go to editing, I'm gonna hook this up and use it. Welcome to my office. This is a little custom desk thing I made for my Forerunner, and when the sun is hot, I put my screen up there, but honestly, it's pretty comfy, and this is where I do most of my work and editing. I'm in DaVinci Resolve. I just made a brand new project, so let's find some clips to pull in. I have made my own power grades, and these are essentially just, so since I shoot in log and 422 10-bit, again, I don't even know what most of these things mean. I just do it because it gives you the most color data and light data that you can work with, so you can pull out a lot more of the colors, stuff like that. A million videos on it. Go watch those. But if you don't really care about all of that, I don't really care. I just want nice colors, so I shoot in log. I'll link to one of my basic power grades. It will only work for Sony because, again, it just depends on your camera and the format that you're shooting. But if you're interested, the way I kind of learned about this was I mostly bought or downloaded other power grades once I kind of figured out what they were. But so you see here I have a default grade, and this one just has a slightly different look. We're just gonna go with the default. And what this does is it just, over here you get these nodes, and as somebody starting out, nodes were super confusing to me, but basically on your input, you need to make sure that you're transforming your clip into the right color space. So I'm shooting in Sony S-Gamut 3 Cine and S-Log 3, and you basically want to convert that to the DaVinci gamut. You could do this other ways too, but this is just the way I want. And then you do your edits, and then you need to make sure that the output is from, well, you changed it to the DaVinci wide gamut to Rec 709 and Rec 709A. These also depend on your machine. I'm on a Mac, so Rec 709A is a standard from what I know. I think it's different if you're on a Windows machine. After that, I will apply a LUT, so you can see the slight color shifts there from that LUT. These are the four, what is that? The four main nodes I keep, again, because I'm not doing anything crazy. Sometimes I'll add them if I'm doing masking or something. But I just do basic edits. So that's usually just lift, gain, kind of getting the the waveform to look right. Again, I just kind of fudge things until I like it. The HDR, again, is just a few small dark shadows, lights, those kind of edits. Curves, I'll usually apply, but I don't have it as part of my power grade just because I like to make sure I'm customizing that for each clip. Saturation, something I've learned is to use the HSV color space and channel 2 edits to adjust your saturation, because that gives, I don't know, it just does it better than just using the saturation slider. So once you do that, then you can just change the gain here. I usually keep mine at like 1.2 or something just to give it a nice little saturation punch. Something else I've been playing with as part of my workflow has been the use of the Dehancer plugin. And full transparency, Dehancer did reach out to me to see if I would be interested in doing a review, but they very much wanted a totally honest review. So these are just my thoughts after incorporating it into editing some clips over the last month or so. So right off the bat, it's pretty easy to use. You just go into your effects, and I like to add it at the end of my node tree because I do all of my conversion and basic editing there. Sometimes I will turn off my LUT so that it's not really affecting the color too much. But there's a ton of film profiles that you can go through. I kind of like playing with the Vision 3 profiles, which are some pretty popular motion picture film profiles. That one's interesting. Let's turn the sound off. And basically it will do some basic color correction, you'll see. But then the plugin has so many different controls that you can use here. So I like to go, we're gonna up the grain. Ooh, yeah, you can see all that grain. Pretty grainy. I also like to play with the halation. Ooh, Super 8 halation is kind of a lot, so we'll scale it back. But after a few clicks, you can already see that it's really given it some of that nostalgic film feel. You can just kind of enable all of these different settings to see what they do. The bloom effect gives kind of like a mist filter type feel to it. And when you select enable and disable, you can really see like what the change is there. I think the film damage is really fun, especially if you do the Super 8. So let's say I'm just gonna give this clip a full Super 8 look or feel. I think the overscan component is one of my favorites. It's super easy to do, and I've been trying to find some good like film overlays like this for some clips because I think it just makes them super fun and cute to have the like Super 8 filmic look. But it's super easy and gives you so much control over what you can do. If you just want a more simple one, you can even make it positive. You could turn the sprockets off. It gives you so much power to just like choose an overscan, add it, play around with it. You can even make them horizontal, vertical, whichever way you want, and it kind of it adapts very well. So for my video edits, I think that this is a super fun addition to getting some more of that filmic look back. I really like the colors and the nostalgia, and I think it just is like, I don't know, it brings back some of that feeling to my clips and my footage. And I think before they were very sterile and colorful, and I do like the colors, but in some instances, especially I think in these desert scenes, I think this just gives it something extra, makes it a lot more fun. DaVinci does have their own kind of film editor. What is it? So they have a film look creator, which gives you some similar controls, but I didn't think that it gave you kind of that same look. You get these different core looks, which I don't even know what they mean, but you do get the halation, the bloom. Honestly, I didn't think that, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I just find that it's not really even adding any halation. And the grain is, I guess you can up it, but it just gets super noisy at that point. And then they have the film gate, which gives you that kind of overscan look, but it really, I don't know why. I just think the controls are really poor and you definitely don't get the same effects. I think this is a super fun plugin. They do also have a Lightroom plugin. I haven't played with this that much, but it's basically like a fully separate screen from Lightroom. So you could go Lightroom and edit in and change it, but a lot of the controls are the same. So it's basically like its own little app and you can do one photo at a time, which has its pros and cons. I think if you're doing just like a few photos, it would be really fun, but you have all of the same film profiles here and you can do the overscan elements there. I did find that the like grain, so this is Portrait 400. Where's the grain? Film grain. Like it's not really doing anything. It's enabled. Because I noticed like the color profile changed, but the grain, yeah, is like not, like, am I blind? There's just really no difference. Okay, the tiniest bit. I don't know. I feel like we need more grain. More grain. I haven't played around with this that much, but it's not as intuitive as the Lightroom plugin, which you just add as a filter on there and it will do whatever you need. I also feel like it's a much more drastic difference from, you know, super high res footage. I think I'm being abducted. All right, if you made it through that, thank you. I hope it was semi-useful. Again, I'm not a professional. I travel around and I like to film and take photos of the things I see. I do everything alone. I'm completely self-taught of the video editing thing. Honestly, I don't know a lot. I've just kind of pieced things together and have kind of found a workflow that works for me. I think the power grade is key. There are a lot of really great YouTube tutorials about really digging into DaVinci color grading. It's super powerful whether or not you have the studio version or the free version. I used the free version all year and honestly I probably could have gone longer without, but there were a few things that I was itching to dive into just because I like learning new things. So before I started shooting in log, I did just find some video that was like, here's some settings you could put on your camera so your footage will look nice straight out of camera. I did that for a second, but I didn't like that approach. It's really hard to re-edit that footage if you want it to look any different. Okay, that is it. That is all the stuff I do for shooting and editing my videos while living out of my tiny car. So I hope you like my little passenger seat desk setup. Anyway, I really hope to post more adventures soon. The past few days being back on the road have just been kind of a mess and nothing has gone right. I have a heat rash and like a ton of bug bites. So tomorrow I'm probably gonna head into town and get a shower and just like reset already. It's been like 3 days, so gonna get that done. And I'll see you in the next one. So bye, thanks for watching.